Hey friends, thanks for hanging out with me again. Today we're going to be, talking about the evolution of my everyday pocket notebook wallet system, I guess is how I'd put that. What I started with, what I am currently using now is just my everyday wallet. Of course, I have to have a filled notes with me, actually two filled notes with me at all times. So yeah, I thought maybe that'd be something fun we could talk about. Kind of see what I liked about some of these, what I didn't like about some other ones, and then the one that I'm using currently, which is not pictured just yet. We'll get to that. But yeah, so let's just kind of go in order here. Let's just put some of these aside real quick. And the first thing that I started using when I wanted to carry a filled notes with me, and I didn't want to just carry that filled notes in my pocket. Maybe I couldn't, if you don't know, a lot of women's jeans don't have very big pockets. You can actually barely even fit your fingers into front pockets. I've since stopped wearing those types of jeans, but back in the day, man, I don't know what happened there for a few years, but they really just didn't believe that women wanted pockets. So couldn't have any pockets, couldn't put my filled notes in my pocket. And then of course, in short season, there's also some struggles there in the ladies department as well. But anyways, I got one of these really to put a couple of filled notes in, to put in a sling bag, or even just a regular bag, backpack, things like that. And instead of just throwing, filled notes in loosely, I needed something to stick that in, because then you would just be kind of searching in your bag for that, or even your sling, just to have things a little bit more organized. And so you could also carry some other things, maybe a couple of bills, maybe some debit cards, credit cards, ID, things like that. And then also you could put some change in this type of wallet. Since you have the zip here, you can zip that up, put you a pin in there. I never really was a fan of putting pins in this little compartment that Lochby provides, just because it's a little tight. And then I also like to carry, I like to carry different types of pins, such as these types of pins. I think this is the Lochby 1917 pins. I like them because they're all metal. But if you stick that down in there, if you push it too far, there's no clip to save it. So if you're always digging that out, I like to just throw them in there like that, zip them up, and then they're secure. So that was something that was real appealing about this. This is the pocket journal from Lochby. I think they've actually got some different kinds now that are smaller maybe. And then they also just came out with that wallet, which I'm super intrigued about. However, there's not a lot of color options, and y'all know me, I love that green, or even the honey color. So I'm gonna see if they decide to come out with that instead of just buying something just to buy it. So anyways, this was the first one. Not very easy to put in your pocket, it being like cloth and all, and then being a little bit thicker, a little bit wider. It's just not the easiest thing to get in and out of a pocket. So this is something that I would just carry around in a sling. So after realizing that, I decided I needed something to go in a pocket if I needed to, and maybe something a little bit thinner. So that led me to the Broy wallet. This is the one that they did with field notes, if you could see that. And online, this looks so cool. It looks so smooth and leathery. However, once getting it, I'm not actually that convinced that this is leather. I mean, am I silly for thinking that? Like I mean, it's broken in a little bit. I've had this for about 2 years now, maybe a little over. And it just doesn't, I mean, I have leather wallets and this just doesn't, it feels more synthetic. It feels more plasticky. And I mean, the inside, it's cloth. So I mean, this part kind of feels, I don't know. Y'all tell me. Online it says that it is. Maybe I'm just not familiar with this type of leather. Anyways, what I really liked about this wallet was that, one, it's got a magnetic closure. So if you can hear that. So that was really neat. And I also liked that there were dedicated compartments for cards. Also, there's just a bigger pocket here. You can put some other things, cash, notes, upfilled notes on that side. You can also put it on this side. This is kind of what that's for. As an example, I'll use this. You can stick in your filled notes just like that, and you're good to go. And then for me, I like to carry two, so you could always put another one on this side. If you wanted. You're not going to get that magnetic closure, but it's still pretty darn thin compared to the Lochby. About the same, maybe slightly thinner. A lot easier to slide in and out of a pocket, even a front pocket. This was really good. Slipping it into a sling or a bag, it just comes out a lot easier than this one. If you have more of like a dump system, just like one big, open bag, this is okay. I really liked this one. I felt like I could just take this and my phone and be done with it. That was something I really liked. Another thing that I didn't quite like was that even though they say that this is like kind of dipped a little bit here, that's to hold your pen, and the pins that they have in mind for that may be something like this with a clip on it. However, when you go to clip those on, it closes nicely for the most part. But then if you're sticking it in your pocket, you've got the exposed clip. And you might be saying, well, you could always get one with a top. Well, the top, once you put this on, the pin can easily come out this way and the top still be attached. So I don't know. I just didn't really care for that. Really, these are the only kind of click pins that I use, but I really do love these old vintage ones. I like to get them. I like to order those off of eBay or a vintage store, clean them up really good, put in a new ink cartridge, and I just love these things. I mean, they're so simple. They're like really, really good EDC pins in my opinion. If you are interested in something like that, let me know in the comments. I can do a whole video on that too. I love talking about these pins almost as much as I do love talking about field notes. So if you want to hear a video about these pins in my collection, let me know. I will be more than happy to do that. So something like this, it does fit a little bit better, a little bit more snug down in there. And if it does happen to click on, it's not long enough to like come out the other end. However, it's not ideal. So as you can see, made a little adjustment for that. Oh, and you wouldn't be able to hold one of these types of pens. And these are, you know, another go-to everyday gel pen. You know, this one is a ballpoint. I believe this one is a gel pen, but couldn't use this one. So I stuck one of these in there. I've also have had it on the fill note itself. However, you have to put it on this one and then it would hang out on the side here. It was pretty snug inside of it, like that. But I did prefer having that on the inside. So that was a quick fix for that. And away we went. This was something that lasted me a really, really long time. And even though I switched over to some other ones that we're about to get into, I would come back to this one quite often. So after that, I decided I wanted to check out the new mini pocket journal from Lochby. If you haven't checked out my Lochby spread and how I use all of those, check that out. I'll leave a little link up here that you can click on. I go over all of my Lochby gear. But this was something that I knew wasn't really going to be a wallet per se, but I just had to use it because it was the mini version of their field journal, but I could put 4 field notes in here. And so that's when I sort of evolved my everyday field notes system and started using 4 notebooks. And that served me well for a while, really up until actually a few months ago. And that way I could get 4 in here. I had some pockets. I mean, I could have all kinds of different field note topics from, you know, my daily to-dos, my landing pages, which is my catch-all system. I could put in a tracker. I could put in a note-taking system. All of that I could put in here. And at one point I even got 5. I used up all 4 of the bands and I stuck one in here, and it still was just fine in closing and carrying around. I love how it just folds out flat and easy to work with, easy to carry, a couple of pens. In fact, sometimes I would have a couple of different pens. If I wanted to color one and then something else like that, I would stick those in using the clip and they would hold together perfectly right there. So this was like able to carry a larger system. Now, could we put some cash? Could we put some cards in here? Absolutely. I didn't feel as comfortable doing that because it doesn't kind of close all the way. Nothing's like real secure in here, but you know, it's still the idea of a wallet, and served its purpose. Loved it. As you'll see, we even go back to something similar. But after that, I was still kind of having the itch for something leathery for my wallet, but I still wanted my field notes in there. I have to have them. And I do have a smaller card wallet that I've shown on here before. It just holds cards and some cash that you can fold up and put in there. I love that. So I wanted to go back to it. And I kind of fell into that whole Paper Republic thing, and I got one. I got the pocket notebook size. I don't really remember what the actual name of this is, but I saw someone have this red, worn-in, patinaed pocket notebook leather cover from them, and it just looked so cool. And then I kept noticing that there was like 5 left, 3 left, 2 left, and so foolish me, I was like, well, I guess I have to go ahead and get that. But come to find out, even when that happens, I mean, it's literally just a piece of leather. all they do is go back and cut some more and put it back up on their website. They're never out of this. Like, it's not like a limited run or anything like that, but kind of led me to believe that, and so I picked up one. So this one is just a piece of leather. It's just a piece of leather. I don't even know how good a piece of leather this is. It's a little stiff. Of course, you know, I didn't use it too long, but you can get 2 notebooks in here, and then you can, you know, combine them and then get more in here. I got 4, so I was carrying around 4 of my fill notes in here. But the only thing about these is that you have to buy other things, such as these little folders to put in there to hold anything else, anything loose. And I'm not going to be putting any sort of cards in here, even though there's like a slot for cards. Yeah, maybe your cash goes here. I would never do that. That just seems unsafe to me. So I know a lot of people use these, and if you like them, that's fantastic. I'm glad you have something that you like. It wasn't for me. I kind of just bought into that whole thing, and honestly kind of regret spending money on this because I'm never going to use it. And yeah, so there's that lesson learned. So after that, Lochby, of course, came out with the green, their olive green color, and I had to get another field journal, mini field journal here, and for the same reasons that I liked the original black, which they don't have this color anymore. They now have a Bumblebee where it's the black and then the yellow, that high vis, which is nice. A Lochby, again, please put the high vis in everything. That is like my only, is it a complaint? I don't know. It's just my only suggestion. I would love for them to have the high vis in all of their products. I just don't understand how we don't have them here, especially since their notebooks are basically the same color as this. And so it just kind of like blends in. And so that's why I'm always using the filled notes, because at least the filled notes are different colors and we can just see them better on this beige innards that they have for the olive and for the honey color. But anyways, so I would use this one for the same exact reason, the same exact way as the other one. So after going through all of this, what I really wanted was a combination of all of them. That was what was going to suit my needs the most, is having a combination wallet that takes all of the good of all of these into one. And I finally found that while searching on the internet one day. And I believe it was probably Instagram where I first saw this. When I was searching, I like to search for field notes, and this was one that came up several different times. And this wallet is made by a company in Ukraine, I believe, called Corvus Workshop. Fedor over there made this for me. Now, he has this design on his website, but a couple of things are a little bit different now. I think he's doing different cuts with the pockets here, but I wanted the original. And also he has his logo on the front here, which I actually really like. I totally wanted that on there. But these are all handmade. Very nice leather. It smells so great. And this is the travel wallet. It's a little bit bigger than the Broy Field Notes version, as you can see, but not much thicker. when you put 2 notebooks in there. And I actually do put 2 notebooks in here. So let's just do that so you can see. So this is one that I like to take out a lot. So I'll just put it in here like this. However, you've got a whole other pocket back here that you can stick it in. And you have another pocket back here that you can put it in. I've just put cash back there. And it just closes so nicely. You can put this in your back pocket if you want. It's a little bit big for that. A lot of times I'll just carry it. Just carry it with my phone like this. Or both of these go into a small bag. And the break-in period is no time. As soon as you get this, you notice just how good of a leather this is. This does not compare to this. This really does not compare to this. This right here, you can tell it's really nice. It's a brushed leather inside. I mean, look at that color. I couldn't go with the black because look at that. That is so gorgeous. And he's already solving our pen problem right here. Any pen goes in right there. Look at that. It's perfect. Handmade to each customer. There's not a bunch of these sitting on the shelf. He made this for like right there. That's when I bought it. So here is where I've got my daily field notes in this front pocket. So you can put actually 2 on this side and 2 on this side if you wanted. You can stick them in here. It also holds my clip pins very nicely. So any kind of pen that you want to put in there, you can. It smells great. I mean, look at that. That's a piece of craftsmanship right there. It's perfect. I mean, everything, the stitching, there's not one flawed stitch on the entire thing. It's starting to get a little bit of scratch in there, but that's part of the patina. Another thing with the this Broy, the scratches just look like scratches from like a nail. Like they don't buff out. They don't like give it character, bringing out different colors like this real leather does. Even the way that it's like breaks in and gets wrinkly right there. No, I don't, like I said, I don't really know what that's made of, but I don't know if it's leather. But this stuff, this is leather. And man, I mean, everything about it is just, it's perfection. I mean, the craftsmanship on this, I can't speak highly enough about. It fits every single need that I had. I've got the leather aspect that I wanted. I've got the color that I wanted. I've got the capability of holding multiple filled notes in here. I've got the capability of holding my pen on the inside, plus my wallet things such as cards, ID, cash. So if you are looking for a nice wallet, and I mean, I'm gonna say right now, like the old wallet, the card wallet that I was carrying, they make something similar to this. It's a little bit more of this size, but I do know that it's made of leather. It's way more pricey than this right here. And they're making a few of those at a time. They're sitting on a shelf. You can tell, Fedor, how you would like to have this made. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, it's, like I said, it's beautiful. The craftsmanship is the best that I've seen. And I have, you know, a handful of leather goods. It meets everything that I need. And so I wanted to share that with you, show you how I got to this point by using all of these, and I'll leave a link down in the description. This is not a paid promotion of any sorts. This is no affiliate link. This is just a product that I really, really like. And so I wanted to share it, and I want you to be able to find it if this is something that you've been looking forward to, or if it's something that you want to explore. He also has a lot of other things on his website as well. But since we focus on our pocket notebooks here, I really wanted to share this with all of y'all. So thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me. If you've got any questions about it, just let me know in the comments, and I'll tag Corvus Workshop, and maybe they can answer some things for you too. All right, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one.